Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to today's webinar, Discover Why Hungary Will Make You Say Wow, brought to you by the Hungarian Tourism Agency. My name is Kara Kurtz, and I am the Senior Business Development Coordinator, and I will also be the moderator for today's presentation. Before we get started, I'd like to point out a few important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us via the web. Please note all audience members are muted. We will be answering all of your questions at the end of this presentation. To ask a question, you will be using your GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom of this pane, there is an area that says questions. You can send me any technical issues via this pane, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Please remember that we have two very special gift bag drawings on today's webinar, and all audience members are eligible for these amazing prizes. So be sure that you are tuning in and making sure to be very attentive, as these will be announced live during the presentation. Finally, please remember that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for your on-demand viewing at ASTA by the end of the week. Now, we have a few updates from ASTA before turning it over to our amazing presenters. As you heard, our annual ASTA Global Convention is going entirely virtual. We are bringing you an epic virtual experience like none other that you have seen before. Be inspired and ready to set big goals for your personal and professional growth, and be prepared to reset your travel business at ASTA Global Live from August 25th through 28th. You'll meet suppliers that you already know, as well as meet those that you didn't know you needed to, and establish connections with so many more. Please be sure to go to AstaGlobalLive.org to learn more. We also have a quick grassroots update for you. Some of you may know back in late March, early April, ASTA had some major advocacy success, particularly beneficial to our small businesses. And all of you are at the helm of that, contacting your local representatives. We are asking for that exact same energy now. As of a few days ago, we had over 30,000 people send over 13,000 advocacy messages via our grassroots portal. But this is nowhere near enough. Please visit our ASTA Grassroots portal for more information on how you can tell Congress to act now to save travel advisors. Please continue to share this far and wide, as these next few weeks are especially crucial for us. Now, without further ado, I would love to welcome our amazing presenter from the Hungarian Tourism Agency, Ms. Zuzana Szarman. Zuzana is the business development. Sorry about that. Zuzana is the business development. She's the head of business development in North America for the Hungarian Tourism Agency, and she joins us today from New York by way of Budapest. She joined us in the United States in early 2018. Here, she's been defining and developing the North American strategy while supervising the utilization of EU funds for tourism development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zuzana. Zuzana, please take it away.
Good evening. So with this little blooper, you can hear this is all live, right? So are you all ready to travel again? For the time being, let's travel in imaginations to heartwarming destinations. Welcome to Hungary. So I'm Zuzana, talking to you today from Budapest, where we have beautiful summer evening with colorful sunset and warm breeze, inviting you to sit outside and sip a glass of Hungarian wine and one of the inviting bars of the city. Please reach out to me with any destination related questions after the webinar, or if you need to be connected to a service provider in Hungary. First of all, I hope all of you and your loved ones are doing well and you are keeping up the spirit through these unprecedented times. These days, we cannot skip to talk about the recent status of the country caused by the virus, so let's start with that. We have around 4,200 confirmed cases in Hungary. Budapest has been the most affected. At the moment, we see decreasing number of cases, only about 550 active infections. Services are open. Hungarians started to take domestic vacations. According to the Forbes study, Hungary is the 18th safest country in the world of COVID. As of today, Wednesday, July the 15th, Hungary opened its borders partially, as you can see colors on the picture. Some non-EU countries, so we are actually expecting or can have travelers from non-EU countries as well, including UK and the US. The government has designated countries into lists of green, yellow, and red. The only way to avoid the mandatory 14-day quarantine is to arrive with 2 negative COVID tests, but taken within 5 days of travel and 48 hours apart. Alternatively, it is possible as well to have a test here in Hungary, go to quarantine, but if the test is negative, you can leave the quarantine. I'm not suggesting at the moment to start booking their US clients just yet, but I think this is an important development and a step towards more countries introducing this kind of regulations. So you can find all COVID-related information and daily updates on our dedicated webpage, www.abouthungary.hu. So let's go and explore Budapest and Hungary. Budapest is a historical city, but it has also an innovative, authentic, unique character, making it a versatile European capital. Visitors can indulge in positive, unparalleled experiences, which enhance and spice up their stay and thus provide lasting memories. Budapest is a very Central European and global city at the same time. This apparent paradox is due to its lively history, its diverse population, and the continuous inspirational blend of cultures. A fun fact about Hungary, that it's around the same size as Ohio. The population is about the same as Ohio as well. And I think it can provide as well close to as colorful experiences as many states together in the US. At the moment, unfortunately, we don't have non-stop flights from the US because of the virus. We had before by the LOT, Polish Airlines, and from New York, and by American Airlines from Chicago and New York. These airlines said they want to bring back these flights this year, but we have already some signs that they will start again next year. Road trips by car are a great possibility throughout Hungary. All our highways starting in Budapest towards all directions. Your American driver's license is accepted as well. Motorways and motor roads in Hungary are marked with a combination of the letter M followed by a number. Hungary, though, applies zero tolerance policy with regard to consumption of alcohol. I collected some of the frequently asked questions. Hungarians have a great knowledge of English. I think this is important. Really very kind and helpful with tourists. We have a mild continental climate. Best time to visit our country, in my opinion, is spring and autumn time. Our currency is the Hungarian forint. The abbreviation is HUF. Some places accept euros as well, and all the major credit cards. And actually, I really can suggest to use the credit cards, as the exchange rates are best with those. Okay, so Budapest for the less mobile. We have extensive city developments in the last few years in the Budapest transport, landmarks, museums and spas, and these are accessible for people with limited mobility. Many locations now provide smooth entry and suitable facilities for visitors. Many Budapest sites provide lifts, ramps and step-free access, including the Parliament, the St. Stephen's Basilica, Matthias Church and the Castle District as well. As you and your guests need to wait a bit more to walk through the streets of Budapest, I would like to take you for a walk around the wonderful city. We have a really amazing built and natural environment, and it makes Budapest a truly authentic and historical European capital. At least 8 different architectural styles can be found in the city, from Art Nouveau buildings to Neo-Gothic and Neoclassicist. The city is very centralized, including the both different city parts. You can differentiate the Buda and the Pest sides based on the landscapes as well. The hilly and the more residential one is the Buda side. The Pest is flat, where the business districts are concentrated, as well as the buzzing and famous Budapest nightlife. Basically, you can explore any of the main attractions within 15 minutes walk from the downtown area, as it's highlighted on the map. You would need at least a half day to leisurely walk around the Buda Castle district. So let's start with Buda. This is the oldest part of Budapest. Some of the houses in the narrow hidden streets have been built in the 11th century. The prestigious Castle district that presides over the top of Budapest has been defining presence of the capital for ages, and now serves as an important hub for culture and history. Part of the UNESCO World Heritage, the area is hosting iconic Budapest landmarks like Matthias Church and Fisherman Bastion. Starting the walk from the Pest side, as most of the popular hotels are located there, like the Kempinski, Corinthia, Aria, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton. You will walk across the famous chain bridge, which has been built 172 years ago, the first permanent stone bridge connecting Pest and Buda. Going up to the Buda Castle, you will use the funicular. Not only holds a wealth of historic significance, it needs to be tried to take in the Budapest landscape. Crawling up to the hillside, it offers a unique, beautiful view of the Danube flowing through the city. So don't miss the funicular. The Fisherman Bastion, it has 7 towers of the bastion. It features the 7 Hungarian chieftains who had led the tribes to the present-day Hungary to settle down in 1895, more than 1,000 years ago. And it has the statue of St. Stephen's, the first Hungarian king. In short, it is a historical monument for the millennial Hungary and provides an amazing Insta photo spot with breathtaking views. Following the walk to the Matthias Church, the Church of Our Lady, better known as Matthias Church, looks back on an exceptional long history, and it's the second best known church of Budapest after the St. Stephen's Basilica. It was built in 1015, shortly after the country conversion to the Christian faith. It was rebuilt in Gothic style in the 14th century. The building is a great example for Central European Gothic style. Next to the church, you will find the Hilton Hotel. The biggest change around the Fisherman's Bastion came in the 70s, when the second five-star hotel of Budapest was built. The Hilton Hotel opened in 76 in a dazzling new building in a real American dream style, with lots of shiny windows, modern technology, which was rarely seen in the communist Hungary. Many disliked it as the modern building was really different from everything else nearby. A less visited place in the Castle district is the Hospital in the Rock. Underneath the Buda Castle district is one of the most unique and fascinating attractions of Budapest. It was built as a secret military hospital and bunker. Nowadays, it's the biggest Hungarian waxwork exhibition with more than 40 figures and a lot of original machinery and furniture that are still in working conditions. It's in a 10-kilometer long natural cave system underneath the Buda Castle. People started to use the cave system first in the World War II, and the holes and tunnels were used as refugees. The crown jewel of the hill is the Buda Castle. A World Heritage Site, is one of the most emblematic architectural masterpieces of the city, and the building easiest to recognize from the Pest side of the Danube. Today, the palace functions as a cultural destination, the Hungarian National Gallery, National Library, and History Museum. The annual Buda Castle Wine Festival is also held here in every September. At the foot of the palace lays the Castle Garden Bazaar. It is restored in neo-Renaissance style, overlooks the Buda River front at the foot of the palace. It was built in the 19th century, originally an arcade of boutiques. This lofty series of promenades today houses cultural space with exhibition areas, flower garden, park, and a cinema. After the walk, have a stop at the Felix Kitchen and Bar, picture 9, located in the building which used to house the Varkert Bazaar kiosk. Behind its breathtaking neo-Renaissance facade, the building had an industrial function, supplied drinking water for the royal palace. When the technology was started to be outdated, the building started to be used for other roles, like it was home for the Budapest Casino. Today, it has a new mission again. It is a creative house and an amazing restaurant, which is really great for pre-dinner cocktails. And after the cocktail, you could just walk over to the Zona restaurant, which is a fine dining restaurant where prominent Hungarian chefs are designing the menu. With this, we finished the Buda side. So let's go over to Pest. Pest is the best, as citizens living in this part of the city says. Of course, there is a debate going on between inhabitants of the two parts of the city, which is the best part. You can decide it yourself. During a half-day walk, you will be able to discover some of the highlights of the downtown. Start our day near to the Parliament at the shoes on the Danube bank. This is a memorial erected in 2005, conceived by a Hungarian film director, created on the east bank of the Danube River to honor the Jews who were killed by fascist Arrow Cross military men in Budapest during World War II. It's a very moving place of the city, actually. After the monument visit, let's walk to the Hungarian Parliament. The Gothic outline of Parliament is one of Budapest's most familiar landmarks, dominating an elegant curve of the Danube close to central Pest. This architectural masterpiece was designed to stand 96 meters tall, in line with the Hungarian millennial celebrations of 1896, still the largest building in Hungary. It has 691 rooms. Many of them are unused today, and it has an ornamental grandeur with 29 staircases, frescoes, 500,000 precious stones, and 40 kilograms of gold. And the Parliament is also home for the Holy Crown and the royal spectre and orb of the first kings of Hungary. A few steps away from the Parliament stands the beautiful Freedom Square. The square is a mix of business and residential area, home of the United States Embassy of Hungary, the Hungarian National Bank, and the only remaining Soviet Red Army monument as well from the communist era. All the other monuments have been actually put outside of the city to the statue park. Walking from the Freedom Square, the south, we will pass by the magnificent Gresham Palace, which is home for the most luxurious hotel in Budapest, the Four Seasons. Behind the Gresham Palace, you will find the St. Stephen's Basilica, the largest church in Budapest. Planning and construction works took 54 years, involving 3 chief architects and the collapse of the entire dome nearly 2 decades into the project. Deliberately designed to reach an exact height of 96 meters as well, same as the Parliament. Today, accommodating 8,000 worshippers, characterized by rich ornamentation and huge windows radiating light and dignity. You can even go up to the dome by elevator as well, and it provides marvelous views over the city. Continuing towards the Elizabeth Square, it is a huge square in the heart of the city where you find 2 further luxury hotels, Kempinski and the Ritz-Carlton, and as well a rotating big wheel, the so-called Budapest Eye, which became a major city landmark. From the square, we walk 2 blocks to reach the bank of the Danube River, where the little princess is sitting, is an iconic statue of the Danube Promenade. From the Danube Promenade, you reach the Vörösmarty Square. It is the city's focal square, the site of Budapest's main Christmas market. Its most visited place as well, the Café Gerbeau, and our only 2 Michelin star restaurant, the Onyx. If you like green in the city, visit the Károly Garden, the oldest garden in Budapest. This is a French-style urban park, originally belonged to the well-to-do Károly family, but now operates as a family-friendly public attraction, despite the fences. So let's finish our Pest side walk at the Jewish district. The Great Synagogue, also known as Dohányi Street Synagogue, this moving historic landmark is one of the largest of its kind in the world. It was built in the late 850s, severely damaged during the World War II, when it stood as the gateway to the Jewish ghetto. The Great Synagogue remained neglected for decades until major renovation took place in the 90s. partly funded by prominent Jewish Americans Estee Lauder and Tony Curtis. Behind the Holocaust Memorial Park features the Weeping Willow statue bearing the names and tattoo numbers of victims on its leaves and honors the brave international diplomats who risked their lives to save Jewish ones. It is not widely known that close to the Great Synagogue stands its smaller but equally beautiful sibling, the Rumbach-Sebestyén Street Synagogue. It was built as well in Moorish style, and it was really closed for decades, just opened actually last year for the public. Today, the Jewish district is the most lively and buzzing part of the city, featuring the Simpla Garden. The ruin pub phenomenon has taken over Budapest nightlife a couple of years ago to establish a far-reaching success formula. Why are the ruin bars so unique? Basically, it is like you are having a party in your grandma's living room or sipping your drink in a flea market. Very characteristic and authentic places. So let's immerse to some of Budapest off the beaten path places. But before that, I would like to ask our first question. Kara, if you would like to start the poll.
All right, our question has been launched.
Very good. So, and the question is, what is the name of the unique means of transport which takes you up to the castle hill?
All right. So it seems like we have a whole bunch of responses coming in. So I will go ahead and launch our poll. The first attendee that can write in what they think the correct response is in the questions pane will be our first winner today. All right, Miss Amy Simone, Miss Amy Simone, you are our first winner. So I will be connecting you with our presenter post-webinar.
Congratulations. That's amazing. It was very quick. Can we start with
Yes, I will go ahead and close out this poll, and we will go ahead and continue on. Just so everyone knows, the correct answer was the first one, Funklar. Susanna,
yes.
There we go. That came in with 95% of our votes. 3% got horse carriage and 2% got air train.
All right, very good. So you paid attention. All right, thank you so much for this, Kara. So let's discover some of my favorite places in the city. A perfect spot for a romantic rendezvous, the tomb of Gulbaba is surrounded by beautiful gardens recently renovated and reopened. The landmark honors Gulbaba, an Ottoman-era poet and philosopher who died shortly after the Turkish conquested Buda. From his statue, a panoramic view stretches all the way to the Danube. The walkways up to the side near the Buda foot of the Margaret Bridge have also been revamped. Hidden in the green area of the Gellért Hill in Buda above Elizabeth Bridge, the Philosopher's Garden features a group of statues featuring famous thinkers and religious figures like Jesus Christ, Buddha, Gandhi meet here for a better understanding of each other, as can be read around the base. You can also witness the union of Prince Buddha and Princess Pest, representing in bronze. The park is ideal for reading a book, meeting with loved one, or opening a bottle of wine while enjoying the view. This fortress atop Gellért Hill is UNESCO World Heritage Site and an emblematic symbol of Budapest. even though it was originally built by the Habsburgs after the revolution in 1848 as a fortification to discourage uppity Hungarians. Today, we rather think of citadel as a symbol of freedom. It is also an excellent lookout point and wedding photo location over the beautiful bridges straddling the curving Danube, Buda Castle, Parliament, the Pest Embankment, and the Buda Hills. Given the circumstances and preparing for the possible shift in people's preferences, now I would like to take you on a journey to the hidden gems of Hungary around Budapest. We call it Grand Budapest. What I love about living in Budapest is that you just have to jump in your car or on your bike and go on a trip to nature in not more than 30 minutes or an hour. Relax on the hills, be active, eat local food, drink gorgeous wine, escape from the busy city. If you venture beyond the city borders, your first stop should be Szentendre. The town has a wealth of history and delights visitors with its narrow streets, street musicians, portrait artists, and as well as the wide variety of craftsmanship and traditional cuisine on offer. Marvel the splendid view from Visegrad Castle, formerly the home of the royal court. It is a bit of a climb, but you will be rewarded with the priceless view of the Danube Bend. It is 40 minutes drive from Budapest, a truly peaceful place surrounded by wonderful nature. You can as well visit Hungary's biggest religious building in Esztergom, the local basilica. Climb to the dome and see for yourself the striking view of the surroundings. The city has one of the largest collections of religious relics and artifacts in Central Europe, and also boasts a major lineup of arts and crafts from a diverse range of international artists. Esztergom is a charming town, 1 hour drive from the center of Budapest. The town offers a treasure hunting program, fun way to discover the place, starting from the basilica, venturing through the town, looking for treasures. As well, you can drive to Gödöllő, which is 45 minutes drive from Budapest, filled with historical buildings that will easily fill a whole day with sightseeing. Most obviously, its fabulous royal palace, but you might also want to visit the local nature reserve. The castle of Gödöllő is one of the most remarkable castles of Hungary simply because of its size. This is one of the biggest Baroque castles in the world. This was the summer hideaway, the residence of Queen Elizabeth or Sissi during the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. Sissi enjoyed being here, altogether spent 6.5 years in the castle, more time than in the Hofburg. Gödöllő was her top escaping place amongst all her getaways. Hungarians loved her, and you will still find some stories, secrets of her in the palace, as well as her original room. Etyek, the vineyard of Budapest, it is 30 minutes drive from the city, rightfully famous for its deeply rooted traditions in winemaking that dates back to the Romans. There are now hundreds of cellars producing a vast variety of top quality wines. Actually, Hungary has 22 wine growing regions all around the country, but if you don't have time to go further to the countryside, Etyek is really a great place to go, very close to Budapest, and offers amazing wine and gastronomic features, really great food as well. And we should go further to the countryside as well, but before that, let me, or Kara actually, start the second poll. And I will read the second question.
Here we go.
Okay.
Has been
And the
known.
question? It's launched, right, Kara? Yeah.
Yes.
What place was the favorite hideaway for Queen Elizabeth Sissi during her time in Hungary?
All right. Now, this is a surprise to me as well. So, Susanna, what is the correct answer? And I can announce who my winner is.
Yeah, so actually it was three options, like, right, Etyek Vineyard,
Yes.
Gödöllő Palace, or Visegrád Castle. And the right answer is Gödöllő Palace.
All right. So our first, looks like our very first person to write in was actually our winner, Miss Crystal Teeter. Miss Crystal Teeter, you are our winner of this poll. Looks like 75% of us knew the correct answer. Coming in with 16% with Visegrád Castle and 9% with the vineyard that I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I know I'm going to butcher it.
All right. You have to come for some language lessons to Hungary.
I do.
Yes.
I definitely do. But Susanna, back over to you.
Okay, thank you. For those who are ready for a rural adventure, maybe spend a night or two in the Hungarian countryside, our little country offers numerous options. I would say no matter which directions you choose, you will find beautiful nature, great gastronomy, wonderful castles and palaces, wine, and most of all, relaxation. There are numerous parts of the country waiting for exploration. But as it is summertime, I would like to take you to the Hungarian Sea, which is the largest freshwater lake of Central Europe, the Lake Balaton, the ultimate vacationing area for Hungarians, our Hungarian Sea, Hungarian Tuscany, our Riviera, and there are no end of the nicknames of this spectacular lake. It is a really huge lake, like 121 mile long. It takes 1.5 hours on highway to go to the closest part from Budapest to the lake, and the more further point of the lake, it's 2 hours drive from Budapest. Of course, you can catch a train or of course a bus as well, but private transfers are available to take you to our Hungarian Sea. The lake and its surrounding awaits visitors every year with unique natural values and further attractions. The experiences are based on the opportunities provided by the lake itself, complemented by the products and attractions of the surrounding towns, which makes it a complex destination in the region that is unique in Hungary. The lake area and highlands are all year-round destination with many opportunities to get active, like cycling, as there is a 124 miles long cycling route around the lake, but as well get inspired by cultural life, explore castles, palaces, romantic towns. Currently, besides Budapest, Lake Balaton is the gastronomic hotspot of the country, with great bistros and restaurants using local ingredients and offer amazing views to the hills and the lake. Each season, the Hungarian Sea shows a different face. The volcanic mountains rising high above the silky water, the vine-covered slopes spattered with white press houses, and Mediterranean atmosphere of the Kali Basin of the Balaton Highland. These are really among the most beautiful regions in the country. Hungary's 1,000-year history comes to life in the castles and palaces of the lake. Overlooking to the Lake Balaton at peninsula is the Benedictine Abbey in the village of Tihany. It was the 2014 recipient of the most beautifully renovated village in Europe. Due to its excellent location, the abbey has a magical view of the eastern corner of the Lake Balaton. The oldest written words in Hungarian language can be found in the establishment as well, and this is dated back in 1055. Sailing has a long tradition at the Lake Balaton, supported by well-equipped and modern yacht port network with rental opportunities, training courses, and organized tours as well. What are we doing when there is rainy day at the lake? We visit one of the stunning palaces or castles nearby. The Festetics Palace is the third biggest and the most visited palace of Hungary. Constructions for the Baroque palace started in 1745, but it has been remodeled and expanded several times after that. This palace has an awe-inspiring park, which offers great opportunities for relaxation as well. It is a protected nature reserve with a French and an English garden, fountains and statues that take you back in time. In the museum, a permanent exhibition showcases the lifestyle of the gentry, but the baronial interior and the carriage exhibitions also have many interesting bits of information in store. Visitors are in for such special treats here as the library with a secret door as well. So I was talking about castles and fortresses. There are many around the lake as well. One of them is the Szigligeti castle ruins. Balaton is more about chapels, observation towers, and churches, so castle seems to have a less important role. The Szigligeti castle has a special role though, hence why locals refer to it as the castle of the Balaton. Currently, it is the only castle around the lake which can be visited and offers a variety of concerts, exhibitions, and interactive programs as well. Or if you are really into ruins, you could climb up to the Csobence Castle ruins. This is located in Balaton Highlands, great for adventures, hiking, and wine tasting, obviously, as well. As I mentioned before, the Balaton Round is a 121 miles long cycling route. The route is very well maintained. Many locals are planning to bike around the lake at least once per year. You can do it in 3 or 4 days, stop by wineries, small restaurants, and sleep overnight in some of the lovely private hotels or B&Bs as well. So that was about the Lake Balaton. Hungary is colorful, rich in history, traditions, where the countryside invites you for relaxation and discovery, whereas Budapest has a young, lively, authentic character. Hungary exceeds your expectations and provides lasting memories. Thank you very much for your attention. And as far as I know, we will have some questions and answer session as well, right, Kara?
Yes, let's go ahead and jump right into Q&A. For anybody that wrote in and asked about this presentation, it was recorded and it will be available for your on-demand viewing within 48 hours on ASTA.org and our video resources library. Susanna, I know on your title slide that you had your name. By chance, did you also have any contact information there?
Yes, of course, but my presentation is just frozen. I don't know why. I can't switch to the last slide. I'm so sorry. It's great
no
that it just
problem at all.
last slide, but obviously I will have the contact information for all who participated, and I will send a follow-up letter for everybody with my contact details.
Perfect. So jumping into questions from the audience, are Americans allowed entry into Hungary?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have this color system which actually started just today. Red, yellow, and green countries. At the moment, the US has color yellow status, which means that you can enter with 2 negative COVID tests, or if you cannot take the test at home, it's possible to have tested here in Hungary as well. You go into quarantine, you have the test, and after the first test is negative, you can leave the quarantine. It takes a few days. So as I mentioned during the presentation, I wouldn't encourage to book your vacation just yet, but it's an important step, and I hope many other countries will introduce this kind of regulation, and then we can move forward from here.
Thank you, Susanna. Do you know if the COVID test that would be administered upon arrival would have a cost to travelers?
Which is taken here in Hungary? Yes, yeah, you have to pay for that. And I will figure out the price as well, as this is a very new regulation. We just don't have that yet, but I will send the costs in my follow-up letter as well.
Thank you, thank you. It looks like we have a few advisors who are writing in, and they absolutely love your presentation, and they're wondering where they could get images and marketing collateral to use for their clients.
Absolutely. Images are owned by us, so I can provide you images, and we have actually amazing videos. I will send you those as well. I didn't want to show videos in the presentation now because maybe you won't hear the sound or something, but these are really, really useful. So actually, we are really operating with our images and videos and our social media sites. So I will send you every reach, how you can reach these sites and videos. At the moment, we don't have printed materials. I can send you PDF collaterals and information which you can send to your client.
Thank you very much. Would you also happen to have any maps for tours?
Yeah, so maps, of course. Actually, many at the arrival in Budapest airport, you have a kiosk where you can get free maps of Budapest as well, featuring many of the tours. And actually, this is like just an insider info that we are just updating our WOW Hungary website, which will be featuring many like sample tours, itineraries, maps, and everything. So we actually, we hope it will be ready by September. And when the new website is ready with all these features and maps and itineraries, I will send it to you as well.
Thank you. We have two questions that are fairly similar, so I'm going to ask you them at the same time. We have an advisor wondering how many days do you recommend to stay in Budapest? And another advisor wondering how many days do you recommend travelers visiting Hungary in general?
All right. The more, the better, of course. We always say that at least 3 nights in Budapest, 3.5 days, because really, like, you need at least 1 day for Buda, 1 day for Pest, and then we didn't even mention our amazing thermal baths in Budapest, where you could relax 3 hours for sure, and try the diverse gastronomic features of the city. Go on the Danube for Danube cruise as well, which I would recommend to do at the sunset time. So 3 days for Budapest, I would really recommend. And as I mentioned, there are really several areas of the country which worth a visit. One of our 22 wine growing areas, and the great in the wine growing areas actually that you always find like many different attractions and activities at the same area. So of course wine, gastronomy, but you can be active, zip lining, or go hiking as well. But you always find some cultural element to it. One of our palaces or castles for those who would like to immerse in Hungarian history more. So for the countryside, I would, depends, you have to choose one direction, and then there you can spend 2 or 3 nights even. So if you want to have like a full experience of Hungary, it would take 2 weeks actually, visiting all of our destinations. But of course it's not possible, so I would recommend 3 days in Budapest, and then choose one of the countryside destination and spend another 2 nights there.
Thank you, Susanna. Going off of that recommendation, do you have any restaurants that you would recommend to our advisors, particularly any good places to eat goulash?
Oh my God, a lot. Actually, there is a really great Hungarian restaurant in Budapest, many of them. But what I love, the Urban Betyár, this is the name of the restaurant. I will send you as well in the follow-up. They have really, really great goulash. Or the Café Kör, which is a small place, very family style, with really different type of tables. You cannot find even 2 similar chairs in this small place named Café Kör again. But they serve really homemade food and amazing goulash, or fish paprikash, or we have a really designated fish soup as well. What really characterizes our food, that I feel almost all of our food is red because of the paprika, so really spicy, but I think they are really unique and tasty meals. So yeah, I cannot really pick just one favorite restaurant because we have so many. I don't know if you knew about that actually Budapest has 6 Michelin star restaurants. This is the highest number in Central Europe. And not only the Michelin stars, but as well many places in Budapest and in the countryside, which has traditional or modern cuisine, really very, I would say, experiential kitchen as well you can find in Hungary. I will send you as well a list of restaurants which I really love to go.
All right. It looks like we have another advisor who loves your restaurant recommendations so much that they are wondering if you have a top winery that you would want to visit.
Oh my God, many. Actually, I'm Hungarian, so I really fan of wine. It's very funny because there are many like, you know, similar things in the neighboring countries, but there are differences as well. We say always that you can differentiate Prague from Budapest or Hungary from the Czech Republic. They drink beer, we drink wine. And There is the Tokaj wine region in Hungary at the northeast part of Hungary. Tokaj is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a really unique wine growing region, dating back as well from the 17th century. If anybody knows Hungarian wine, then this is from Tokaj, and you would recognize the natural sweet wine from Hungary. But in Tokaj, actually, you don't only have a sweet wine from these grapes, and actually there are 4 grape types which can be found only in Tokaj region in the whole world. And if you still see my screen, the top right picture with the fortress is in Tokaj region. So you can have Furmint. This is the name of the grape and my favorite wine. It's spelled Furmit, and this grape type you won't find anywhere else. And it is the base actually for the natural sweet wine as well, and it has amazing dry white wine. So that's my ever favorite.
Thank you. We still do have a few questions coming in from advisors, but advisors, please do not fear. I will be sending all of our questions over to Ms. Susanna, so she and her team can get back to you all individually if your question is not for the good of the group. But with us coming up on the end of the hour, this will conclude our presentation for today. Please remember that this webinar was being recorded, so it will be available for your on-demand viewing on ASTA.org in our video resources library. If this was super beneficial to you, please make sure that you pass it along to any other advisors who you think it may be helpful for. Susanna, with that, do you have any closing words for us?
I would like to say only my last closing sentence again, that Hungary exceeds your expectation and provide lasting memories. And I really hope that you and your clients will be able to come and explore our country very soon. I'm here really to answer any questions and help you with planning and connect you with hotels and Hungarian DMCs to create the best trip for your clients. Thank you very much for all your attention. I really hope you learned new things about Hungary and that you will book our little gem of a country when it's possible to travel again. Thank you.
No, Susanna, thank you. I know I personally can't wait to book some travel once things get back to normal, and Hungary is definitely going to be on the top of my list after your amazing presentation. So on behalf of all the advisors, thank you, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Goodbye.